everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to have you back on the channel, on this platform. I'm so happy that you could join us, that you've chosen to watch this video. C.S. Lewis once said that to love is to be vulnerable, and because I love you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, today I'm going to love you in a different way. We are going to tell stories, and you know how growing up, well, I grew up in the West, so for us it was mbatebeze tebere hakarho mshija tebere, you respond tebere, and that's how stories were told growing up. So this is me telling a story. I'm just going to read from a blog that I wrote quite recently, maybe about 6 months ago. It's not long, and then from then on we'll proceed. There's freedom, so much freedom, an outcry of release from bondage, from chains that wrapped around your neck and almost promised no release. There is freedom in realizing you might have been the reason for the bondage. You held on so long, the chains kept entangled because of you. There's freedom in knowing you've got the power to let go, to just relax and let everything play out. Play out, the chains drop on their own. There's freedom in knowing you did everything you could and now it isn't up to you. There's freedom in realizing you were going after the wrong squirrel, yet the deer was right before you. Oh, what freedom! What absolute freedom! What freedom there is in letting go, just releasing and trusting it will take care of itself. The freedom that comes with saying, God, this is for you. I release. I let go. This is yours. Let it go, child. Let it go. As Isaiah said in Isaiah 43:18-19, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. And this is the word of the Lord. How did we get here? So a friend of mine recently asked me how easy it was for me to move on from that relationship that I thought was perfect. Yeah? And the inspiration for this blog was a relationship I came out from. I met this guy. Oh, okay. I won't say where I met him because then some people might know who I'm talking about. Well, of course, I expect that my close friends would know who I'm talking about. But for matters of privacy and things like that, I won't be as specific as possible. But I met this guy and he was hilarious, good to talk to. While he didn't say it out loud, I know he loved me. He did things that gave me the impression that he really did care for me and who I am and who I should be, and made me feel like he was the kind of person that I would love to spend the rest of my life with. You know, the person who gets into your life and suddenly they are in every aspect of your life, your job, your family, they are friends with your siblings, your parents know the person, and ultimately, a couple of months in of this person being good to you, being nice to you, showing up when you need them, even when you don't need them, even when you don't say you need them, they kind of get the feeling that you need something, and then they just show up for you, and then you end up falling in love with them. Unfortunately for me, because I've been in a space where I expect that the other person communicates how they're feeling or what they want with me, I waited, and even when I finally got to the point of letting go, I was still waiting for the person to outrightly come out and say how they felt, or that these things I thought I was saying were not just them, but actually meant something. And holding on can be very frustrating. It can be very, very painful, yeah, of you get to a point where you fall in love with this person. You realize that if they didn't call you, would speak to each other a couple of times a day, maybe 4, and it was okay. And we'll talk about anything. Like on my way to work, home to work, would be on the phone. In the evening, work to home, we're on the phone talking about anything, talking about bad road users. And that kind of person who you just have a very, very cordial and beautiful relationship with, that just gives you the impression that if this person could just say, Atai, you are the one, you will just give your entire being, like just hand yourself over and allow to be taken. Yeah. So of course I fell in love with this guy, guys. I really fell. And in my falling, of course, there were so many sleepless nights of thinking about this thing, and whether I'm the one who is just seeing the signs wrong, whether I'm the one who has an issue, whether or not I'm just assuming things. But then, like, you assume something, and then the next day they just do an even better thing. Yeah. If it is that I needed money, even when I didn't ask, they gave. When I said I was feeling low, I would receive flowers out of the blue, and of course it would make you smile. When I said my siblings had an issue, they would jump in and fix the issue without me getting involved. The moment someone begins to adopt your family and adopt all your chaos, you just want them in your life, and you want them in your life for good. And that's where I had gotten. But then it also gets frustrating when now you've gotten to that point and the other person is just not saying a thing. And being the kind of woman that I am, I found ways or clues of getting this person to admit, or maybe give me an indication that they actually liked me for more than just what we had then. And it didn't work. He was too sharp for me. Really sharp. It didn't work. All the tactics didn't work. It was so bad. It was so bad that one time my friends and I plotted that I would just accidentally put myself and this guy in an awkward situation. Like, just get him in a place where I just kiss him, and if he kisses me back, then it's going to work. If he doesn't kiss me back, well, I will swallow my pride and take on the shame and know that what I did backfired, but that I would have done it. That is where I had reached. But of course, the coward in me didn't pull through with the plan. We really had a plan, how to do it, what I should be wearing, how it should happen, what conversation we should be having. Guys, by the way, women are the best planners. And it didn't work. It didn't work because I couldn't pull through. Like, I couldn't get to that point where I woke up to this guy and put us in such a situation. It's just not in my DNA. And what made me run? What made me then come out of it, or come out of this whole thing? So while the person was really nice, and by nice, guys, really nice is an understatement of what happened. They promised to do something for me that really mattered. Yeah? And they didn't do it. And it hurts so bad. And I didn't know how to come out of that particular situation. You're so used to this person doing this, doing that, making promise after promise and doing it, and just the one disappointment hurt to the core, and it just refused. So I wake up and I say, no, I'm not going to let this go on. I'm going to give this person feedback. So I wake up and I tell the person, I don't want you to make any promises anymore that you won't fulfill, because this is how it makes me feel when you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. So maybe don't promise, but when you're ready to do something, just do it the way you've been doing. And it just went south from there. It just turned into, guys, it ended anyway. It ended. Whatever it is that we had, whether it was a friendship or a situationship, like people like to say these days, it just ended. And for a bit of time, maybe a couple of months, about 2 months, I had to learn to let go, to actually let go. I think most of the relationships I'd been in before, it was so easy to walk away. This particular one, I was shook. Like, I did not know whether my next step was the right step. Like, I began to doubt myself. I began to, like, there were just so many thoughts. I cried. The way people sing Sulako Pillow Mbisi, guys. Na Sulako Pillow Mbisi, actually. Pillows Mbisi. Yeah. And finally, when I wrote that blog, I had gotten to that point and known that sometimes it's okay to let go, that sometimes people are in our lives for a season. Sometimes people are in our lives because God wants them to be. And when that purpose is fulfilled, then it's okay to move on. And this applies to very many areas in our lives. Like, I'm not just saying it only happens in relationships. Sometimes you could be in a job and you've given it your all, but then you get to a point where you feel like you're not growing, you're probably not maximizing your potential, and you then realize that you need to let go. So letting go is okay. And if something is toxic, if something is not helping you grow, if it is frustrating you, it is okay to let go. There's a lot of freedom in letting go. There's a lot of freedom in realizing that it wasn't meant for you and that there is something better for you out there. But it's also important to appreciate what you had. Like, I thank God, and I really thank this person for the time they were in my life. They taught me a lot, and it's okay that right now they are not as involved in my life as they were before. We are friends. Like, now we talk, which didn't happen for maybe about 4 months, but we now talk, not as much as before, but it's cordial. And there's so much freedom in knowing that it's okay, that moving on isn't about loving someone anymore and forgetting them, but it's about having the courage to say, I still love you, but you're not worth the pain anymore. If you've had a scenario like this, if you have a story to share about letting go, about realizing that you're worth more than what you're currently getting, or where it was so painful you had to find ways to deal with, feel free to share in the comments, and let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. How did you heal? How has it shaped you? How has it encouraged you to help other people as well? Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, see you in 2 weeks when I post the next episode. I love you guys so much, and I hope you loved the story. Bye.